Today, so we will discuss the last stage of design thinking. Okay. And this is very important stage. So last stage of design thinking, we try to test the idea with the users. Okay. So the basic objective of testing is whether people are willing to use the product we or MVP we have created. Okay, whether this product solves the problems of the customers. Okay, whether the customers like this product, whether they actually recommend this product to some others. So we can have a couple of testing. Okay. So there are a lot of methods. Okay, there can be an interview, there can be usability testing. Okay. So we will be discussing what are the different testing tools or testing methods we can use it. So based on the learning from the testing, okay, normally it will get iterated to prototype, ideate, define, or even we go to empathize. So I'll go in bit detail. Okay. Uh, we will be talking a little bit about the different kind of tools, okay, and different kind of techniques which is used in testing. Okay. And now, incidentally, I got an invitation from IIM like now on 3 weeks back, not 4 weeks back, on a topic called product experimentation. So I prepared this presentation with IIM Lucknow students in mind. Okay, so it may contain few details, but I will make it as simple as possible. Okay, so so when you want to start testing, okay, so basically there are 4 steps are there. Okay, first of all, we need to identify goals, clearly define, okay, what you want to achieve from testing this particular MVP. Okay, and use KPIs. So we should identify some kind of key metrics. So can be a conversion ratio, can be a increase in the customer satisfaction, can be a increase in the net promoter score. So we should identify some kind of key metrics. Okay, then select the audience. So who would like to be tested? Okay, so we have segmented the customers, or we have made the customers into different personas. So which kind of personas we would like to test this particular MVP? So once we test it, okay, we will have some learnings, and based on our learnings, okay, we should uncover the areas of improvement. So these are the 4 stages in testing. So again, we will come back to the hypothesis. So when you create a goals, okay, so we should have some kind of hypothesis. Okay, now for example, these are the examples. If we reduce the number of buttons on the home page, okay, maybe probably we will get more registration. So I have seen some websites, okay, they have a lot of registrations page or registration button is there, okay, and some of the buttons are not working also. So it may actually, for if a customer unfortunately click on that specific button which is not working, customers nowadays, okay, they are not very uh, patient enough. Okay, so they may skip that particular options itself. So if we make a sign up form responsive, we will get uplift in registration. If we decrease the price of starter package, then we will get more customers. So we need to set some kind of hypothesis. So when you have any kind of hypothesis, we need to have 2 kind of variables. Okay. For example, in this case, if you reduce the number of buttons on the home page, we will get more registrations. Okay. So we should have, ideally, any hypothesis should have 2 kind of variables. So we should measure the product performance. Okay, and it is a very critical task for the product managers. So then we should understand the second step is what are the different KPIs for the measurements. Okay. So if you are talking about a software product, okay, we can actually identify some kind of measurements, success metrics. Let us take uh, um, Rinju, you have identified that, okay, when you want to make the payment, there should be a notification that, okay, the customer should get some kind of alert regarding the pending, what do you mean, pending the money or pending money in the ballot, okay. So that can maybe increase the size of the sale value, okay, or that may leads to the conversion. So basically, we can actually divide the metrics into different categories. Okay, so we will talk about different categories. So one is engagement metrics. Okay. Now, what do you mean engagement metrics? So there is the companies like Book My Show, then Netflix. They constantly send notifications to the customers. So if you send a notification to the customers, the objective can be to increase the engagement. So more engagement with a particular website, there is a more probability that it can leads to the conversion to a purchase. So maybe these can be the different engagement metric. Daily active users. Okay, so how many people are using Netflix on a daily basis? How many are using a monthly on a monthly active users? Retention rate. What do you mean retention rate? So if I'm looking for a monthly subscription, okay, whether I will continue with this subscription. Okay, so that is retention rate. Time spent on the product. What is the relevance of time spent on the product? So the assumption is more time they actually search for a particular product, there is a high probability that he can get converted into a sale. Okay. Number of sessions per users. Okay. I may use 3 or 4 times in a day. Okay. Page views per session. Okay. So at a time, okay, how many pages being viewed? Click through rate. Okay. Whether I'm clicking to the application form or I'm clicking to the next stage. Okay, what is a bounce rate? So maybe one example is so the company sent mass emailers. Okay, now sometimes if I'm from a if I am actually subscribed for a website, okay, and I have given my company email ID, so there are inherent mechanisms. Okay, this can be put into spam. Okay, now as a company, okay, I can understand, okay, how many mails being opened, how many mails being bounced back. Okay, that is called bounce rate. So I have sent 100 emails, out of that 10 emails got bounced back. Okay, because especially to reaching to the company emails, okay, they have set a mechanism that this can be put into a spam or this cannot be opened. Accusation metrics. What do you mean by accusation metrics? So accusation talks about, okay, how much, okay, how much the product is being discovered or adopted by the new users. So it includes number of new users. Okay, for example, Book My Show, how many number of new users in this particular month? Traffic sources. What do you mean organic, referral, paid kind of traffic sources? What do you mean organic traffic sources? So this is the traffic source received from a paid sources. Okay, for example, I put a Google ad. Okay, so I need to pay money for the Google ads. So it will actually reflect in the top of the search engine. Okay, so that is a paid sources. Okay, so have you heard about something called Google Analytics? So you can actually link your website with the Google Analytics. Okay, there you can clearly understand. Okay, so which are the segment of the customer percentage of customers come from organic, which are the percentage customer from referral or paid advertisements. Okay. Now, what do you mean acquisition cost? For example, in the case of paid traffic sources, okay, we need to pay some money. Am I right? Okay. So, for example, 100 people, 100 prospects are actually came from the paid source. Okay, and out of that, only 2 got converted. So there is something called acquisition cost. For each customer, how much I need to pay. Okay. So this is almost similar to something called user acquisition cost. One user. This is the total acquisition cost. This is the user acquisition cost. Return on investment on acquisition campaign. What do you mean return on investments? So my revenue is 100%. Okay, and my um, expense is 75 rupees. Okay. So what is the return on investment? Yeah, 25%. Now lead generation rate, okay, whether it converts into a leads. Okay. So it is not necessary that customer just visit the website. Okay, they should actually subscribe or they should actually fill up the form to get more information. So that is called as leads. Okay, this is conversion. How much that is acquisition. This is conversion. How many people is converted to a specific product purchase or completing a registration. Okay, so one is conversion rate, okay, purchase, sign up, average order value, what is the purchase value for each customers, revenue per user. Have you heard about something called funnel drop off rate? What is a funnel drop off rate? Okay, so
Correct.
that they may actually visit the website, okay, they may sign up, okay, they may actually download the brochure, okay, they may add the product to the cart, okay. Then finally, okay, for example, if there are 100 people visit the website, maybe 30 people may sign up, 10 people download the brochure, okay, 5 people may added the product to the up to cart, maybe only 2 people, okay, purchase the product. So similarly, cart abandonment rate, okay, how many people come to the cart, okay, and how many finally, okay, purchased it. Lead to customer conversion rate. So lead can be once they sign up for the particular product or downloading the brochure, that can be a lead. Okay, from the lead to conversion customers, what is the conversion rate? Retention metrics. Okay, so this talks about the how many products being retained, okay, over a period of time. So what is a churn rate? So typically it talks about a drop in the number of customers. Okay. Now, so I think I have shared this example. Okay, Netflix had a big churn rate in India because Amazon came out with a very cheap, okay, subscription model. Okay. So their churn rate is very high. So it can be monthly, it can be an annual. What do you mean reactivation rate? Rejoiners. Okay. So
Yes.
last month I didn't because of the examination this month and last month. Okay,
Hmm.
I subscribe for the Netflix. Okay, April. Okay, I will reactivate it. What do you mean net promoter score? You
Yes.
might have seen, okay, this kind of surveys.
Mm.
Okay, how much you're likely to recommend the product to others from 0 to 10. Okay, so if the average rate is only less than, if it is less than 6, they are called detractors. Okay, so they will not recommend this product to any people. So if average rate is around 7 to 8, okay, we can assume that, okay, we have something called passive kind of customers. So if it is more than 9, okay, if we can assume that, okay, most of the customers are promoters or advocates. So you might be heard about this concept, okay. If you talk about the marketing ladder, okay, the top of the pyramid is something called promoters or advocates, okay, and bottom of the pyramid are called suspects, then prospects, then customer, then client, then advocate. So the bottom of the pyramid is suspect, then prospect, then customer, then client, then advocate. I don't know whether you know the meaning. Okay, so what is the difference between suspect and prospect? It's actually a possibility or opportunity. So that lies with the prospect. So let me give an example. If you talk about the population of Mumbai, it assume that it is 3 crore population. So for bookmark show, the suspect is 3 crore. Okay, so we are not sure, okay, who will become the customers. Now prospects, so there should be some qualification to become a prospect, or there should be some qualification to use the bookmark show. So what is the qualification? So they should go to the movie, they should use the internet, and they should have some kind of, okay, I mean, they need to be um, they need to have the capability to pay the money, okay, ability to pay the money. So these are the few factors which qualify as a prospect. So there can be 3 crore population, and out of that only one crore will be qualified as a prospect for the book my show. Now who is the customer, who is buying the particular product or service? So out of 1 crore population, maybe 10 lakhs actually using the book my show. Now who is a client? So you might have observed, okay, for certain brands, okay, you may go again and again and you will purchase it. And for certain brands or certain services, okay, you will stop with the one purchase. Okay. So what is the reason you're going back to that particular brand or that particular service? Maybe a couple of factors. One, you may assume that there's a lot of value for money, then can be a good service, and then can be, okay, the pride attached in using that particular brand. So we can identify a couple of factors. So because of that, okay, we will go back to that particular brand again and again, or particular services again and again. So you become a client for that particular company. Now, who is an advocate? Somebody who will recommend. Now, for making a customer advocate is not an easy, okay, because people will not refer easily to another person. Okay. Um, Let me share an example. Now, Satish, if I come to Hyderabad, okay, assume that I'm coming to Hyderabad, you don't worry, okay. And if I ask you, okay, so which restaurant, okay, I would like to have a dinner, okay, and which restaurant you will recommend? Maybe you can just say one restaurant. Hyderabad is very famous for food. Bavrichi. Now, if I assume that I go to Hyderabad and I had a food from Bavrichi, now assume that I didn't like the food, okay, so I'll call Satish and hey, what, yeah, okay, what kind of restaurant you referred? So Satish does not want to affect his reputation. Am I right? If he wants to refer a restaurant, he will make sure that that restaurant is really good. He already tested and he already have a good experience. Unless and otherwise, he won't refer anything. Am I right? Because that will affect the reputation. So making a customer to become an advocate is not an easy. So customer having should get a such kind of delight from that particular product or a service. Now, for a company, which is the best thing, okay? I mean, acquiring a new customer or converting a customer to a client, or even converting a client to an advocate, which will be more financially feasible. That is where, okay, I'll come to a next concept. So basically, okay, the more revenue or more return on investment will come, okay, if the customer is converted into client, if the client is converted to an advocate, okay. So why? Because there's another important concept called customer lifetime. So have you heard about something called customer lifetime value? So let me give a very easy example. Assume that you purchased a car from a dealer, okay. Let us assume that Maruti dealer. So in the first year, okay, they will get some kind of revenue from the sale of the car. Okay. So nowadays, these dealers are very smart. Okay, so they do a regular follow up on multiple things. So what are the multiple things? So they do a regular follow up for the services. They do a regular follow up for the renewing the insurance. They may do a regular follow up maybe after 3 or 4. Do you want to exchange the car? So what is the customer lifetime value? So he is, for example, if I'm using the car for 7 years, okay, the company or dealer is getting revenue from that customer for 7 years. Okay. So that is something called customer lifetime value. So as you Rinju rightly mentioned that, okay, so in order to enhance the customer lifetime value, there will be constant triggers, constant notification given to the customers. So one example is Reliance Trends. Okay, I don't know how much money I have spent on last year. Okay, because if you go and purchase some 4,000 rupees worth dress, okay, they will give another 4,000 rupees, coupons. Okay, so that can be get redeemed. So again, we will go and try to purchase. So they said that for claiming 4,000, okay, you should purchase for 8,000 rupees. So it will get into a hook. Okay, even though, okay, I mean, since we are a bit educated and we know a little bit about these gimmicks, but unfortunately we also fall into that kind of hook, okay, because the peer pressure, wife pressure, kids pressure. So this is called monetization. Next is monetization metrics, okay, whether the product is generating revenue. So it can be a total revenue, average revenue, gross margin, profit margin, okay, paying user percentage. So this talks about some financial things. Usage metrics. Okay, so how often and how long the product customers will use the product, number of logins, number of features usage, frequency use, session duration, number of actions per sections, number of transactions. Feedback metrics. Okay, so this is another kind of metrics. Sometimes, okay, these you can see okay, some of these success metrics being repeated, but this can be put into different buckets also. So customer satisfaction out of 1 to 5, okay, what is the level of satisfaction of the customers? NPS, user reviews, customer support tickets, whether company is getting a lot of tickets for the customer support. That shows that, okay, the customer is not happy with the product or services. User feedback, survey response rate. So what is that? If if there is if there are 100 feedback is being said, only 5 people respond, okay, then it means that, okay, people are not very happy or people are not very loyal to that particular brand. Error metrics. What do you mean error metrics? So what is the error? Okay, number of crashes. You want to make the payment but you are not able to make the payment. Okay, IRCTC, especially if you want to book, okay, during the Tatkal time, okay, you will have a lot of crashes. Still, they are not able to crack it, even though they say that, okay, they are the website which having maximum. I think they comes on the top 10 website which having maximum traffic, okay, in the world. But they are not able to. They're not efficient during the time of Tatkal. So number of bugs and defects, again, number of support tickets, error resolution time. So a ticket is being raised, okay, how much time will it take to resolve the resolution. So next is competitive metrics. Okay, now I have introduced a new MVP, whether my market share is being increased, where the brand awareness, I have actually included new kind of advertisement, new kind of website, or new features in the website, whether it can increase the brand awareness. What is the user satisfaction after introducing a new feature? So product feature comparison, okay, whether my feature having a better rating compared to the competitors. Pricing comparison, okay, whether people are willing to pay higher price for my new product. So these are called competitive metrics. Okay, now there is something called experimentation methods. Okay, so we need to do some kind of experimentation methods. So there are three kinds of experimentation methods. One is called A/B testing. So one is called multivariate testing and one is called funnel testing. So what do you mean A/B testing? So this is very simple. Okay, now we are creating two versions of a product. So similar to what I said earlier. Okay, assume that, okay, women like pink front page, and so we have creating one website which is fully of pink, and one is the existing website. So we want to measure, okay, how many people are signing up, how many people go for the call to actions. So the 100% traffic is divided into two. Okay, 50% is to version A and 50% to the version B. So that is what is called controlled, and challenger is what we call as a experimental group. So this is one example. Okay, so this can be a control group and this can be an experimental group. So we will expose these two to, okay, two kind of sample sizes and try to understand their behavior. So for doing that, okay, so there are a couple of tools are there. Okay, I'm not an expert in it, but I will try to make an attempt. So you got an idea of A/B testing. It is very simple. You are creating two versions and divide the sample or pushing the sample to two versions and try to understand what is the difference in the behavior of the customers on these two versions. So one can be a control group and one is an experimental group. In the case of control group, we are not doing anything. So experimental group is the group, okay, or that is a stage where we make some changes in the product. So that can be our MVP. So basically, in order to test this, okay, there is a tool called Google Optimize is there, okay, where, okay, we need to add details. Okay, for example, we need to add book my show. We need to add URL for, so you mean the website, okay, which we want to test it. So one can be, yeah, so this has already been there. Okay, so we need to, so this can be the control group, and we need to have another experimental group where we make some changes. So we need to make some changes in the HTML front end programming language, do it. Then we can do a little bit of targeting rules. Okay, we can set this is the area where we need to set up the objectives. We can create variants, a lot of things we can do it. Okay, we can customize. Okay, so we can do a lot of variables out here. Okay, time since how many seconds they are seeing in particular website, which is which kind of region, which kind of country. Okay, you want to understand from which geography people are looking into it. And there are a lot of backend data is also need to be in. For example, Java variable, data layer, query parameter. Okay, this also needs to be incorporated in this, and we need to link this to Google Analytics. Okay. So we need to link this. So I'll just show you the sample Google Analytics. Okay, once this website is actually linked to Google Analytics, okay, you can have a lot of data. For example, this is a demos Google Analytics.
So this optimizing tool goes for LMS also?
So this Google Optimize is a funnel, okay, where we are gathering the data, and in order to have the analytics, we need to link this to the analytics. Okay. For example, we have seen, okay, engagement, user retention, lifetime value. Okay, so a couple of things are there. Okay, then we can also try to understand, okay, from which geography people are coming. Okay, and what can be their demographic factors. A lot of things we can analyze from this Google Analytics. I'm not an expert in this because this involves a lot of technical stuff. Okay, so even you can understand for the last 30 minutes how many users are there, okay, from which country, okay, the maximum number of users are there. So users by gender, okay, whether it is a male or female, okay, from which city, age, language. You can have a n number of analysis. Okay, so that is where, okay, there is another test called multivariate testing. Okay. So in the similar to A/B testing, so the only difference is that, okay, we have multiple alternatives. So this is one example. Okay, so there are different kind of, okay, layouts are being given. So this is a bit complicated. So why it is a bit complicated? Because you are analyzing different kind of variables, and you are pushing this test to the different kind of customers. Okay, so you have a different kind of sample sizes. You are gathering the data from different kind of customers, and we need to use the tools. I mean, statistical tools like ANOVA. Have you heard about analysis of variance? MANOVA, multiple analysis of variance, because you are getting a different sources of variables. So this is one example. Okay, so I mean, there are different kind of layouts for the website. And for A/B testing, there is one tool is there, visual website optimizer is there. Okay, then you can have a convert, then you can have optimizely.